You know what? I'd really kick myself in the tail if I didn't start this podcast by congratulating and celebrating Manu Ginobili making the Hall of Fame. That's something that I haven't talked about yet, and I'm going to take a second here to express my gratitude and appreciation for the man. That was a great little kind of, piece of news that caught me by surprise. I totally forgot about, the inductees and this year's class, and Timmy was there last year. You'll see Manu, and then you'll see Tony, right? Just like the way we got, the jersey retirement ceremonies, we're going to get them inducted in the Hall of Fame for sure. Probably the same way. Man, Manu, in my eyes, is the third best shooting guard of all time. The fact that he wasn't there, a part of the 75th anniversary at the All-Star game, to me, just that hurt. I mean, it's like, come on, dude. You see all these other players there, and you see, look, and I don't have anything against Dwayne Wade, but in my eyes, it's Jordan, it's Kobe, it's Manu, and it's not even close. Like, it's not even close, man. Like Dwayne Wade is a icon. He's a media figure. He's he's got TV shows. He's popular. He's a homestead name. I understand that, but when you're talking about, like, bro, he has 2 rings. Manu has 4. Really, he was only the main guy for 1. I mean, if you want to call, him and Shaq kind of took that 2006 championship and together. You know what I mean? And yeah, Manu always had Tim Duncan, always had Tony Parker, if you want to argue that. But Manu, I mean, come on, bro. The greatness for almost, 20 years, 15 plus years, whatever it was. 2005 should have been a finals MVP. Was playing at a high level, at an extremely high level, until the day he left the league. Like, seriously, like he probably still come back and play with these cats. I mean, come on, the block on James Harden towards the end of his career. I mean, come on, the whole, like, everyone was like giving him like a farewell tour the year before he actually left. I thought that was pretty hilarious. But I mean, come on, 4 championship rings, gold medal, European MVPs. Like, this guy is one of the best players to ever do it here in the NBA as well. It's not just about his European accolades and his total resume together. I mean, Manu, Kobe talked about it, R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, right? Like, talked about Manu all the time, saying that he was one of the most competitive matchups that he ever went up against. And seeing Kobe and Manu go at it was some of the best basketball you've ever seen. Clutch bucket after clutch bucket, big time plays, makes magic happen on the floor, IQ level above anyone else on the floor when he's on the floor. All right, so Manu is deserving one of this Hall of Fame nod, and I'm excited to see him get in. I'm excited for his family. I'm excited for the Spurs and Coach Pop and Timmy and everyone for being there. I'm pretty sure they're going to be there that night. So he is in undoubtedly, my mind, top 3 shooting guard of all time. Yeah, he came off the bench. He didn't have to. He could have went and got his own team and been a player, that's leading the team in stats and all that stuff like that. But we understand what it took to win championships here in San Antonio, and it took sacrifice. And Tony Parker sacrificed financially. Manu sacrificed with his role coming off the bench. Like, a lot of teams nowadays want to think that it takes 2 superstars. Right now you're seeing more of teams building around 2 guys than 3. Why? Is because when you get 3 superstars together, one of them has to sacrifice, like the Chris Bosh, the Kevin Love, you know what I mean, the Kevin Garnett, right? One of those guys kind of has to take a step back and let 2 guys, because there's only so much room. There's only so many shots. There's only so much time on the clock for guys to get warm and to get into flow and all that type of stuff. And Manu realized early that if he came off the bench, and the Spurs realized too, that he was going to be able to cook and play at his level and not have to sacrifice a dang thing for his greatness and for the team's success. That was the sacrifice, just coming off the bench, because we all know Manu was in the last 5 minutes of the game no matter what. If it was a regular season game or if it was a playoff game or a finals game, Manu was in there and the ball was in his hands most of the time. Most of the time it wasn't in Tony's hands. Tony had his moments here and there, but Manu was the one usually that closed out the game for the Spurs. So he was a huge part of 4 championships out of the 5 that the Spurs have. I mean, come on. He won one in 03, he won one in 05, 07, and then he was a huge part of the 2014 championship as well. I mean, come on, man. How is Manu Ginobili talking about Klay Thompson being a snub in the 75th, which I think that is right. I can agree with that Klay Thompson maybe should have been there, and he has the resume, he has the accolades. He's undeniably one of the best shooters to ever play the game, but he doesn't make the top 75 list, and that's because they had to pull from the past generations. I get it. They got to pull people from the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, right? You got to or the 70s, I think, is when the NBA I don't know, whatever, 75th anniversary from the past 75 years, right? You got to go back. You can't just be thinking about the past 20 years. I get it. But when you're talking about championship pedigree, I mean, Manu should have been there. Tony should have been there too. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, but we're talking about Manu and being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is awesome. And you know what? Like, Timmy wasn't there on All-Star Saturday night. David Robinson was there. We're going to talk about that in a little while as well. George Gerving was there. But none of the Spurs big 3 were there. And I like that. I hope that was out of solidarity, right? Like, if Timmy's like, what? If Manu and Tony ain't going to be there, I'm not going to be there. I'll stand in front of this green screen and just wave around, do the whole, parade wave with the hand, and that's about it, So, I put out a tweet as well, kind of talking about this, like, how Spurs fans get so up in arms when they see these lists come out and, Manu's not there or Tony isn't there. But I don't get mad, to be honest. I can care less. I think any type of list that comes out from ESPN or the NBA or whatever, they're just not going to give a F about anyone else besides Tim Duncan and maybe David Robinson. And that's because David Robinson was kind of dominant in his era. So if it's not those 2 guys, don't expect them to even think about Manu and Tony, but we will, right? In San Antonio, we do, right? They're heroes to us in that city. And, and I'm perfectly fine going on record saying that he's a top 3 in my eyes. Dwayne Wade is fine, but if you want to talk about the best shooting guards in the league, Dwayne Wade is maybe top 10, but bro, Dwayne Wade couldn't shoot beyond mid-range. Like, he was aggressive going to the rim. He had the championship demeanor. Yes, he had the attitude. He was a big-time player, all that, but bro, you want to tell me he's better than Manu? Man, not even close. James Harden? Not even close, bro. There's some people out there, I'm just like, bro, not even close. They're not even close to Manu, right? So I had to kind of get that off my chest, and as I say, congratulations to Manu Ginobili and his family, and for him being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, first ballot, right? Like, just a great moment. That's going to be a great moment for Spurs fans everywhere, and we'll get to that in the summer, right? I believe it's around. Is it around draft time? I think it's around draft time when they have the whole ceremony and stuff. So shout out Manu.